Hey Clashers, and welcome back to another video. And yep, it's time again for doing a strategy ranking video. So we have a ton of strategies on our list. We're going to rank all of them. Now we'll explain in a couple of seconds how do we rank them, like what are we going for, what are we looking for in strength, for example, and so on. I will talk about the tiers and I will talk about the current meta as well. And I think we should get started with the overall meta because this is a super hot topic in the community at the moment and we have so many different opinions on that. I feel like I think overall for the game right now the meta is not too bad, but for the competitive, and I feel like this is out of question. It is not that hard at the moment to 3-star. This has obviously a couple of different reasons, but I feel like overall just the heroes being too strong and strategies which are like thriving under those heroes are just being super popular and powerful. For example, those queen shard strategies or overall air strategies, which obviously have like the new level, but in addition to that, those heroes make those air strategies even more powerful. I feel like this is a huge problem in the game at the moment, and I think Supercell did a huge mistake with waiting for so long with this Expo level, because the Expo is not getting a new level, or has not gotten a new level on Tower 14 yet. So I'm still hoping that we're going to see the new Expo level really soon, because I feel like it is really missing in the game, not having any counterplay to the heroes, especially on the highest level. This being said, I will try to put somehow all of this into ranking, and well, in addition to that, I put the work in and I have collected for most of those strategies army links. So if you say like, okay, Itsu, this army looks pretty interesting, well, then you can just copy it with this army link. In addition to that, I used the stats list of the NRCC tournament, the community tournament, where most of those stats are highlighted. You can see it at the moment on your screen as well. And there are so many strategies out there which have a really high hit rate. We're going to talk about that. We're going to find a good spot for them in the tier list. We have the S+ tier, which is beyond everything. Like this is like kind of the broken, like it's like kind of like the best strategy tier list. Then we have the S tier list where most of the strong strategies are in there. Then A and B, obviously, self-explained. And then we have the trash tier list where I put everything in there, which you should never touch most likely. So this is the ranking, and I feel like we should just get started with the first strategy. So we have the first strategy, which is, I always explain, like if you don't really see what the strategy should be, but this is supposed to be a Blizzard Lalo icon. So we have Loom, we have the Hound, and a Super Wizard, which is supposed to be the Blizzard. I put this in a really nice S tier position. I think Blizzard Lalo is really incredible strong, especially for those pro players, getting incredible value with those Blizzards. It's powerful and at the same time fun to use, so I think for sure deserves this S tier position. The next one is going to be the Blizzard Hydra. I think as well in the S tier position, but in my opinion I think the Blizzard Lalo, even though it needs more skill, I think it's stronger. We see so many people just getting incredible value with the Blizzard. I feel like Blizzard Hydra and Blizzard Lalo, obviously sometimes you can go for different values or like for different buildings, but I feel like just in general, if you're a really good attacker, Blizzard Lalo is better overall than Blizzard Hydra. Blizzard Hydra on the other side though is easier to execute, and that's important to note as well. Next strategy, and that is, well, you can see later, there is not too many other air strategies with like this bat icon, so you have to say you can pretty much combine any of those air attacks with like just bats, but I feel like just putting DragBat as overall like icon into this tier list, and I feel like DragBat, I don't know, bats, yeah, they can sometimes work, but I feel like compared to the majority of the other tools which you have, for example Blizzard, it's not as strong. So we have our first strategy, which I put into the A tier. I just don't think it's really fitting into the S tier, even though obviously it's not weak, but DragBat in my opinion, not that high up there. Next one, Mass Dragons, and I put this one into, I'm kidding, not B tier, I'm putting it into A tier, behind the DragBat for sure. I think the problem for Mass Electro Dragons is that it's really base dependent. Like if the base is a little bit spread out on the most important buildings and those chains are not connecting, you have no chance in doing anything about that. At the same time, there are so many other air strategies at the moment being strong that you just don't need the E-Dragons in my opinion compared to other strategies, because I don't know, Dragon Riders, normal dragons, Inferno dragons, they're just as strong as the Electric Dragons, but just way more consistent on different bases. So that's why I put those Electric Dragons into A tier. Next one is going, oh, that's our first trash tier army comp, because this is a strategy which I still see quite a bit. And I see so many YouTubers out there who put it like easy or OP strategy out there and just putting this onto the thumbnail. And if you're watching this, just unsubscribe to them if you actually want to watch good videos about good strategies, because this strategy on turn of 14 is trash. Just don't use it. The Town of Poison just obliterates those troops. And just don't use it. Trust me, just don't use it. Maybe you can get a couple of 3-stars, obviously, especially if you're taking turn of 13s. But overall for turn of 14, that's not the strategy to go for. Next one is going to be in general Hydra, which means Dragon Riders and Dragons. I think it's an S tier army composition. I think it's weaker than the Blizzard variation. I just think Blizzard is so powerful at the moment that this can pretty much make any strategy work if you get the right value. So I think Blizzard is just stronger than the original version. So I think still it's the S tier army composition. Next one, and that's going to be maybe a surprise to you, but it's the combination of Dragon Riders and Inferno Dragons with skeleton spells. And whoops, this is right now, I think, the best strategy in the game. It might be a surprise, but I think the reason why this is so powerful at the moment is, first, it's air and we talked about that, how those heroes work with those air compositions. And I think the reason why it's better than most of the other air compositions is just the skeleton spells, because those skeleton spells really counter the current meta setup. You have 2 multi-inferno towers and 1 single inferno tower, and with this being said, you can cover the entirety of the base with multi-inferno towers, which is giving those skeleton spells so much power. The best strategy to counter the current meta, and it's just strong anyway. So just if you want to have some nice 3-stars, go for it, don't mind, and you can do whatever you want with this army composition. Next one, and we'll keep going, and this is kind of like this Jag composition, which he brought up. It's like the best strategy if you want to replace the Electric Dragons. It's like the best strategy. And I actually put it, at the top of the S tier. I think it's super powerful. It has an incredible hit rate in pro matches as well. And it's just insane. It is just an incredible strategy. I used it over my 7-day push challenge. I'm not the best with dragons, still I had decent success, I want to say, overall. So it is really powerful for sure. Next one is going to be the Blizzard Mass Dragonrider. And to be honest, the first couple of times I saw like those Mass Dragonrider text, I was really impressed. I just thought like, oh, that's broken. But to be honest, seeing it the last couple of weeks, having pretty low hit rates compared to the other strategies, I just can't ignore those hit rates at all. And this is why I put it at the end of S tier, maybe even between S and A tier. So I put it on S tier because there are Dragon Riders in there, but still, I don't know. I just don't think that it's that powerful. I feel like, yes, if you get a crazy Blizzard, but at the same time, if you get a crazy Blizzard, you could do Lalo as well, which in my opinion is just stronger, but at the same time, obviously harder to execute. So I don't know. Either way, next attack, and that's the same Mass Dragon Riders, but this time around with lightnings. And I put that in between of the Electric Dragons and the DragBat. I just think it's not that strong. At the same time, you really rely on those lightnings, which is not always possible. So I think it's not as strong. It's just in the A tier, in my opinion. Either way, moving on, and that's Pekka Smash. And no big surprise. I already said, from the beginning, I think Pekka Smash is one of the strongest attack strategies in the game. I think it's not as strong as the Inferno Dragon and Dragon Rider combination because it's not countering the current meta as great. But still, we see such a rise in the last couple of weeks with Pekka Smash, and it's so powerful. I said this month ago that this strategy is still incredible broken maybe even, and it's showing off right now. Pekka Smash is still the king, especially for ground army compositions. Moving on, and that's the Queen Charge Dragon Riders. And yeah, S plus, you could argue which strategies at the top, which is not. All of them are incredible strategies, but I just put the Queen Charge Dragon Rider a little bit above the Pekka Smash because I still think Pekka Smash is not really in the final version just yet. I feel like Queen Charge Dragon Rider, since it's getting used so much, a lot of people figure out the biggest techniques with the strategy. The same with Pekka Smash, it's not the same. With Pekka Smash, I feel like still we have so many things to discover. The same, as I said, Just recently, we had the meta with the Log Launcher. Now we have a meta with using the C-Spurx from the other side of the base. So you can see there is still, Pekka Smash is still changing. So I think Pekka Smash is not at the final form just yet. And this is why I would put the Dragon Rise a little bit above, because I think Pekka Smash has the potential to be the number one. But just at the current moment, it's not the number one, but at least I think really close to that for sure. Next one, Queen Charge Dragon Riders. Queen Charge Hog Riders. B tier. I think ground right now is really suffering from first, not new levels, and second, spring traps. There is no counterplay to spring traps, and the vulnerability, you can still lose all of your Hog Riders to spring traps. That's different with air, so I think that's why it's I don't know, not even close over there. Queen Charge Hybrid, in my opinion, is A tier. Better than Electric Dragons, in my opinion. It's actually not that bad, to be honest. So, a really strong strategy. It's just like the prop that there are no new levels just yet. At the same time, it's really predictable because you nearly always have to go for the tunnel with the Queen Charge. So that's why I think it's suffering just a little bit. Either way, next strategy, Queen Charge Lalo, and there we go, another S tier strategy. The question though is, how do you order them now? I would, power-wise, I would do it like this. Overall, I would do it like this. Why exactly? I think Queen Charge Lalo might be a little bit stronger than Queen Charge Dragonrider, but overall they're pretty similar. But at the same time, Queen Charge Dragonrider is just way easier to execute than Queen Charge Lalo. And I think considering this, I have to put Queen Charge Dragonrider just a little bit above Queen Charge Lalo. Either way, both of them power-wise I think are pretty close. Maybe if you master Lalo, it's a little bit higher power-wise compared to Queen Charge Dragonriders. But at the same time, it is really close, and both of them are incredible good strategies if you want to learn them. And they're nearly always strong in the current meta. Next one, Queen Charge Miners. Easy. Next one. I mean, to be honest, I don't have to talk about Queen Charge Miners, right? Like, this is just not good. Like, don't use it. Might be still better than this stupid Golem whatever, but yeah. Let's move forward. Next strategy is Skelli Donut Lalo. And I put this over here because I think it's really powerful. It's a really powerful strategy. It's one of the strongest strategies, I think, power-wise in the game. But it's super base dependent. Like, if there's not the possibility of a great Skelli Donut, this strategy is not usable. If there's a great Skelli Donut and you're able to drop those spells correctly, it is pretty much GG from the beginning of the attack. So this strategy is insane hit rate wise, but you can't always use it. And this is why, in my opinion, it's at the end of the S tier overall. Sui Lalo. Easy. Sui Lalo is incredibly powerful at the moment. We have a couple of people really mastered that strategy, and it's showing off in the current meta because it is just so insane how much value you can get with those heroes. At the same time, similar as Skelli Donut, it's really base dependent, but at the same time, you can use it on more bases. And it's just so strong. The hit rates are incredible of this strategy. And this is why I think it deserved this number one spot in the S tier list overall. Next one, Superwitches. Yeah, I think Superwitches are not that great in the current meta. Pekka Smash just compared is just way stronger, I feel like, and that's why I just put it into the S tier, into the A tier. I don't know, not a huge fan. Next one, Yeti Smash. You could argue that it's actually trash tier, but I just want to show some love with the Yetis. It is a tricky one, but either way, it's like in between of those two tier lists, which is not that great, but it's Yeti Smash, right? So nothing too fancy. Next one. Dragons with lightnings, and that's kind of complicated because you could actually combine Hydra as well with lightnings, but I did not want to put up like all of those icons, so I just combined all of this, and I just think lightnings are one of the weakest combinations. It might be, I don't know, like those three are pretty close to each other, to be honest, but I just put it like this. I'm not sure, like those three are, in my opinion, are really close to, those three are pretty close to each other in my opinion, but I would just put it like this. Next one is going to be the Lightning, the Zap LaLo, which I think is going to get that number 2 spot. Not sure about those two, to be honest, but I think still Lightning LaLo is getting the number 2 spot. Wait, no, I would put it like this, to be honest, because I feel like Lightning LaLo obviously you need the lightning value, otherwise you can't use the strategy. This strategy is you can always use the strategy, so I think that's the difference. So yeah, it's a strong LaLo composition, but I can't just put it above this Dragon Army composition. Next one is going to be the Clone Hydra. And I put it... That's a good question. Where do I put it? I think like this. I think it's really strong in the current meta. It's really powerful, especially in Legends. You see it everywhere. But I think you can counter it with like really good NATO traps. So not sure, to be honest. I mean, it's a lot of investment into those clone spells, so I'm not really sure about it if it's really worth it. But either way, I would just put it into the S tier, in the mid range of the S tier. And that's it. That's all of those strategies ranked into this huge list. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you let me know if you have anything different. And let me know if you agree with me as well on the current meta, where I think heroes are just too strong. There needs to be an expo level, which is like somehow getting them down just a little bit. But hey, let me know what you think about that one. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow for the next one. Until then, bye bye.